Bhaktavinda. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 5, Chapter 16, Text 27. Jathara deva kutau meru purvenashta dasha yojana sahasram.
जठरादेव कुटो मेरुं पूर्वेण अष्टादशयोजनसहस्रस्तम्
Udgayato dvisahasram prithutunga bhavata evam aparena.
उद्गायतो द्विसहस्रं पृथुद्विङ्गो भवत एवम् अपरेण
Pavana pariyatra dakshinena Kailas karavira prag ayatav evam.
पवन पारियात्रो दक्षिणेन कैलासकरवीरो प्राक् आयतो एवम्
Uttaratas trisringa makarav ashtabir ete parisrito nir iva.
उत्तरशृङ्गर मकरो अष्टभि एते परिसृत अग्नि इव
Paritashchakasti kanchana girihi.
परिस्तश्चकास्ति काञ्चनगिरिः.
On the eastern side of Sumeru mountain are two mountains named Jathara and Devakutta, which extend to the north and south for 18,000 yojanas, 144,000 miles. Similarly, on the western side of Sumeru are two mountains named Pavana and Pariyatra, which also extend north and south for the same distance. On the southern side of Sumeru are two mountains named Kailash and Karavira, which extend east and west for 18,000 yojanas. And on the northern side of Sumeru, extending for the same distance east and west, are two mountains named Trishringa and Makara. The width and height of all these mountains is 2,000 yojanas, 16,000 miles. Sumeru, a mountain of solid gold, shining as brilliantly as fire, is surrounded by these 8 mountains. So Sumeru mountain is in the center, surrounded by these 8 mountains around it. And Sumeru mountain is a golden mountain. Meror Murdhani Bhagavata Atmayoner Madhyata Upaklaptam.
मेरोर्मूर्धनि भगवतो आत्मयोने मध्यतः उपक्लृप्ताम्
Purim Ayuta Yojana Sahasram Samachaturasram Shaktakobhim Vadanti.
पुरीम् अयुतयोजनसहस्रीं समचतुरस्रां शान्तकौमुदीं वदन्ति.
In the middle of the summit of Meru is the township of Lord Brahma. Each of its 4 sides is calculated to extend for 10 million yojanas, 80 million miles. It is made entirely of gold, and therefore learned scholars and sage call it Shatakaumbhi. So Lord Brahma is situated in the center, on the peak of this mountain, Meru mountain. Tam anuparito lokapalanam ashtanam yathadisham yatharupam.
ताम् अनुपरति लोकपालानाम् अष्टानां यथा दिशं यथा रूपम्.
Suryamanena puro ashtav upaklaptaha.
तुरीयमानेन पुरो अष्टो उपक्लिप्ता.
Surrounding Brahmapuri in all directions are the residents of the 8 principal governors of the planetary systems, beginning with King Indra. These abodes are similar to Brahmapuri, but are 1/4 the size. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur confirms that the townships of Lord Brahma and the 8 subordinate governors of the planetary systems, beginning with Indra, are mentioned in other Puranas. Mero Nava Purani Syur, Manovati Amaravati, Tejovati Samyamani, Tatha Krishnan Ganapara, Shraddhavati Gandhavati, Tatha Chanya Mahodaya, Yashovati Cha Brahmendra, Bhayadinam Yathakramam. Brahma's township is known as Manovati, and those of his assistants, such as Indra and Agni, are known as Amravati, Tejavati, Samyamani, Krishnagana, Shraddhavati, Gandhavati, Mahodaya, and Yashovati. Brahmapuri is situated in the middle, and the other 8 puris surround it in all directions. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 5th canto, 16th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled A Description of Jambūdvīpa. So here Sukadev Goswami is saying that Lord Brahma's abode Brahmapuri is surrounded by these 8 governors of the universe. So, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, yes, there is a similar reference also in other Puranas, and this is the reference. Moving on to chapter 7. So what we heard was description of the Jambūdvīpa. Now chapter 17, the descent of the river Ganges. The 17th chapter describes the origin of the Ganges river and how it flows in and around Ilavratvarsh. There is also a description of the prayers Lord Shiva offers to Lord Sankarshan, part of the quadruple expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Vishnu once approached Bali Maharaj while the king was performing a sacrifice. The Lord appeared before him as Trivikrama or Vaman and begged alms from the king in the form of 3 steps of land. With 2 steps, Lord Vaman covered all 3 planetary systems and pierced the covering of the universe with the toes of his left foot. A few drops of water from the causal ocean leaked through this hole and fell on the head of Lord Shiva, where they remained for 1,000 millenniums. These drops of water are the sacred Ganges River. It first flows onto the heavenly planets, which are located on the soles of Lord Vishnu's feet. The Ganges River is known by many names, such as Bhagirathi and the Jahnavi. It purifies Dhruv and the planets of the 7 sages, because both Dhruv and the sages have no other desire than to serve the Lord's lotus feet. So we are going to be reading about this, how the Ganga comes to this earth. And she's flowing also in the higher planets of this universe. Well, yeah, how she's entering into the universe rather. The Ganges River, emanating from the lotus feet of the Lord, inundates the heavenly planets, especially the moon, and then flows through Brahmapuri atop Mount Meru. Here the river divides into 4 branches known as Sita, Alaknanda, Chakshu, and Bhadra, which then flow down to the ocean of salt water. The branch known as Sita flows through Shekhar Parvat and Gandhamadan Parvat, and then flows down to Bhadrashvarsh, where it mixes with the ocean of salt water in the west. The Chakshu branch flows through the Malyavangiri, and after reaching Ketu Malavarsh, mixes with the ocean of salt water in the west. The branch known as Bhadra flows onto Mount Meru, Mount Kumuda, and the Nila, Shweta, and Shringavan mountains before it reaches Kurudesh, where it flows into the ocean of salt water in the north. So this Ganges River, it seems, then it divides into four, and of course, ultimately, it comes to the ocean, the Alaknanda, the saltwater ocean. The Alaknanda branch flows through Brahmalaya, crosses over many mountains, including Hemakutta and Himakut, and then reaches Bharatvarsh, where it flows into the southern side of the ocean of salt water. Many other rivers and their branches flow through the 9 Varshas. The tract of land known as Bharatvarsh is a field of activities, and the other 8 Varshas are for persons who are meant to enjoy heavenly comfort. In each of these 8 beautiful provinces, the celestial denizens enjoy various standards of material comfort and pleasure. A different incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead distributes His mercy in each of the 9 Varshas of Jambūdvīpa. So Bharatvarsh, field of activity, that is this earthly planet. And then the other 8 Varshas, they are the higher planets, celestial beings. And it seems there's a different incarnation of the Supreme Lord on each of these 9 Varshas. In the elaborate Varsh, Lord Shiva is the only male. There he lives with his wife, Bhavani, who is attended by many maidservants. If any other male enters that province, Bhavani curses him to become a woman. Lord Shiva worships Lord Sankarshan by offering various prayers, one of which is as follows. My dear Lord, please liberate all your devotees from material life and bind all the non-devotees to the material world. Without your mercy, no one can be released from the bondage of material existence. So Lord Shiva is praying to Sankarshan. Sankarshan is the Ishtadev of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is always meditating on Lord Sankarshan and he's praying to him to release the devotees, to bring the devotees back to the spiritual world, and to bind the non-devotees to the material world. And he's saying, no one can get liberated without Lord Krishna, Lord Sankarshan's mercy. So we're going to start reading Shri Shukavacha. Did anyone want to say anything? I'm sorry. Did anyone? Till now, whatever we read.
Just wanted to confirm that the salt water is our ocean for the
I'm not
Bharatvarsha.
sure.
Not sure.
Let's
Okay.
read on. Yeah, let's read on and then maybe we can come to know more.
I think that's why our ocean is salty, right? So it could
Yeah.
be, yes.
Yeah. Because Bharatvarsh is this whole island, this whole planet was called Bharatvarsh. But
Yeah.
let's read on to say what
And one
you
thing
know.
more. So what they have mentioned that the Varshas, the other 8, they are 9. So the other 8 Varshas are the, as you mentioned, they're the other planets, right? On higherly planets where the other
Yeah,
demigods and
seems like.
everybody stay, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, seems like that.
Okay, yeah, we read and we find out. Okay, perfect.
Tatra Bhagavata Sakshat Yagya Linkasya Vishnor Vikramato Vama.
तत्र भागवत साक्षात् यज्ञ लिंगस्य विष्णु विक्रमत वाम
Adan Gushtan Nakh Nirbhinordhavanda Kachaha Vivarenantaha.
पाद अंगष्ट नख निर्भित्र ऊर्ध्व अंड कट्टाह विवरेण अंत
Pravishtaya Bhaya Jaldhara Takcharan Pankajavane Janaruna.
प्रविष्ठाया भार ब्रह्म जलधारा तत्चरण पंकज अवने जन अरुणा
Kinjal ko Jita khil jagat agha mala paho parshana mala.
Kinjalak uparajita akhila jagat aghamal apha upsparshanaha.
Sakshat Bhagavad Paditi Anukal Pakshita Vacho Vidhiya Manati.
Sakshat Bhagavad Anupalakshita Vacha Abhidhiyaman Ati Mehta.
Mahata Kalena Yug Sahasro Palakshanena Divamurdhani.
Mehta Kalena Yug Sahasra Uplakshena Diva Murdhani.
Avtatara Yattad Vishnu Padam Ahu.
Avtattara Yattat Vishnu Padam Ahu.
So Dev Goswami said, my dear King, Lord Vishnu, the enjoyer of all sacrifices, appeared as Vamandev in the sacrificial arena of Bali Maharaj. Then he extended his left foot to the end of the universe and pierced a hole in its covering with the nail of his big toe. Through the hole, the pure water of the causal ocean entered this universe as the Ganges River. Having washed the lotus feet of the Lord, which are covered with reddish powder, the water of the Ganges acquired a very beautiful pink color. Every living being can immediately purify his mind of material contamination by touching the transcendental water of the Ganges, yet its waters remain ever pure. Because the Ganges directly touches the lotus feet of the Lord before descending within this universe, she is known as Vishnupadi. Later, she received other names like Jahnavi and Bhagirathi. After 1000 millenniums, the water of the Ganges descended to Dhruvlok, the topmost planet in this universe. Therefore, all learned sages and scholars proclaim Dhruvlok to be Vishnupada, situated on Lord Vishnu's lotus feet. So we can see that the Ganges is not flowing only on this planet Earth, but even on other planets. In this verse, Sukadev Goswami describes the glories of the Ganges river. The water of the Ganges is called Patita Pavani, the deliverer of all sinful living beings. It is a proven fact that a person who regularly bathes in the Ganges is purified both externally and internally. Externally, his body becomes immune to all kinds of disease, and internally, he gradually develops a devotional attitude toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Throughout India, many thousands of people live on the banks of the Ganges, and by regularly bathing in her waters, they are undoubtedly being purified, both spiritually and materially. Many sages, including Shankaracharya, have composed prayers in praise of the Ganges, and the land of India itself has become glorious because of such rivers as the Ganges, Yamuna, Godavari, Kaveri, Krishna, and Narmada flow there. So here we are reading some of the glories of Ganges River. What is the Ganges? What is she called?
Patita Pavani. Yes.
Yeah, and why?
Because
She's the deliverer of all sinful.
all sinful
Yeah.
beings.
Yeah, when one bathes in the Ganges, she takes away all one's sins. So, and then what are the two ways that she purifies?
Internally and externally.
Yeah, so what is externally?
Like
The
all
body
diseases,
becomes pure.
all body, but outside problems.
And internally?
Develop
Develop
devotional.
devotional
Devotion to the Supreme Lord. Yeah. And that's the reason the holy people, they like to live on the banks of the Ganges. Okay, anyone living on the land adjacent to these rivers is naturally advanced in spiritual consciousness. Srila Madhvacharya says, Parahe Vaman Padam tu Tad Anyeshu tu Dakshinam Padam Kalpeshu Bhagavan Ujjahara Trivikramaha. Standing on his right foot and extending his left to the edge of the universe, Lord Vaman became known as Trivikrama, the incarnation who performed 3 heroic deeds. So this is Srila Madhvacharya is saying this, because with his, he took 3 steps, right? 3 steps of land. 3 steps. Yatra havav viravrat atona no autan padhe param bhagvatosma.
Yatra
Vavivratah
Vaviravavrata
Otan Pati
Autana
Param
Pati
Bhagavato Asmat.
Paramasat
Kuldevta charana ravindodakam iti yam anusavanam.
Kula
Kuladevata
Devata
Charanarvindo
Charanavindo
Udkam Iti Yam Anusavanam.
Utkrishyman Bhagavad Bhakti Yogena Dridam Klidyamanantar.
Utkrishyaman Bhagavad
Bhagavat
Bhakti
Bhakti
Yogena Dridam Vikaldaman Anta.
Hriday Autkantya Vivasham Milita Lochan Yugala Kudmala.
Hridaya Otyakantayah Viveshah Amilit Lochan Yugal Kundamal.
Vigalitamal Bhashpa Kalaya Vivyajyaman Roma Pulaka.
Vigalita Amal
Vas
Vashapkalaya
Kalaya
Abhivyajyaman Roma Pulakaha.
Pulakodhuna pi parmadarena Shirasa Bibharti.
Pulko Kulak Adhuna Api Param Aderina Shirsha Vibhrati.
Dhruv Maharaj, the famous son of Maharaj Uttanapad, is known as the most exalted devotee of the Supreme Lord because of his firm determination in executing devotional service. Knowing that the sacred Ganges water washes the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, Dhruv Maharaj, situated on his own planet, to this very day accepts that water on his head with great devotion. Because he constantly thinks of Krishna very devoutly within the core of his heart, he is overcome with ecstatic anxiety. Tears flow from his half-open eyes and eruptions appear on his entire body. When a person is firmly fixed in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is described as Virrat, fully determined. So one who is Dridrat, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So here is Virrat, fully determined. Such a devotee increases his ecstasy in devotional service more and more. So devotional service, it's not static, keeps on increasing. So the ecstasy the devotee feels also keeps on increasing. The love keeps on increasing. The expression of that love keeps on increasing. The emotion of love keeps on increasing. So it's unending ocean of bliss. Thus, as soon as he remembers Lord Vishnu, his eyes fill with tears. This is a symptom of Mahabhagavat. So one may say that, oh, but I don't want to cry when I'm loving someone. But this is the sign of a highest ecstasy. When we love someone, we see them or we remember them, we think about them, even our eyes may tear up. So the devotee, he has love for Krishna, so his eyes tear up. So Dhruv Maharaj maintained himself in that devotional ecstasy, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also gave us a practical example of transcendental ecstasy when he lived at Jagannath Puri. His pastimes there are fully narrated in Caitaniya Caritamita. So yeah, Lord Chaitanya, he was always exhibiting these ecstatic symptoms and love for Krishna. Tata sapta rishayastat prabhava bhigya yam nano tapasa atyantiki.
tat sapta rishaya tat prabhav avigya yab nanu tapasa atyanitiki.
Siddhir etavati bhagavati sarvatmani vasudeve nuparat bhakti.
Siddhi etavati bhagavati sarva atmani vasudeve uparat bhakti.
Yog labhe nevopekshitan yathatma gatayo muktim evagatam.
योगलाभेन एव उपेक्षित अन्य अर्थ आत्मा गतयो मुक्तिम इव आगताम.
Mumukshav iva sabaho manam adyapi jata juter udvahanti.
मुमुक्ष इव बहुमानम अध अपि जट्टूटे उद्भन्ति.
The seven great sages, Marichi, Vashisht, Atri, and so on, reside on planets beneath Dhruvalok. Well aware of the influence of the water of the Ganges to this day, they keep Ganges water on the tufts of hair on their heads. They have concluded that this is the ultimate wealth, the perfection of all austerities, and the best means of prosecuting transcendental life. Having obtained uninterrupted devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they neglect all other beneficial processes like religion, economic development, sense gratification, and even merging into the Supreme. Just as Gyanis think that merging into the existence of the Lord is the highest truth, these seven exalted personalities accept devotional service as the perfection of life. Transcendentalists are divided into two primary groups, the Nirvisheshvadis or impersonalists and the Bhaktas or devotees. The impersonalists do not accept spiritual varieties of life. They want to merge into the existence of the Supreme Lord in his Brahman feature, the Brahmajyoti. The devotees, however, desire to take part in the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. So the transcendentalists are always divided into two. They're the Gyanis or the Bhaktas, those who want to merge into the Supreme effulgence, the Brahmajyoti, or those who want to enter and take part in the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. In the upper planetary system, the topmost planet is Dhruvalok, and beneath Dhruvalok are the seven planets occupied by the great sages, beginning with Marichi, Vashisht, and Atri. So Dhruvalok, it's a spiritual planet within this universe. It's the highest planet, the pole star. And then there are the planets of the seven sages. All these sages regard devotional service as the highest perfection of life. Therefore, they all carry the holy water of the Ganges on their heads. This verse proves that for one who has achieved the platform of pure devotional service, nothing else is important, even so-called liberation, Kaivalya. So pure devotional service. Krishna says, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma na sochati na tamshati. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma. That one comes on the Brahma Bhuta platform when one understands he is a spirit soul. Then he engages in pure devotional service. Bhakti actually begins from the liberated platform. So Prabhupada is saying that this verse proves that devotional service, for one who is engaging in pure devotional service, they don't want anything else. Nothing else is important. Srila Sridhar Swami states that only by achieving pure devotional service of the Lord can one give up all other engagements as insignificant. Prabodhananda Saraswati confirms his statement as follows. Kevalyam narkayate tridashapur akash pushpayate durtan tendriya kal sarp patali protkhata damstrayate vishwam purna sukhayate vidhi mahendradischa kitayate yad karunya kataksha vaibhavavan vaibhavatam tam gauram evastuma. Caitaniya Chandramrita 5. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has perfectly enunciated and broadcast the process of Bhakti Yoga. Consequently, for one who has taken shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the highest perfection of the Mayavadis, Kaivalya, or becoming one with the Supreme, is considered hellish, to say nothing of the karmi's aspiration to be promoted to the heavenly planets. Devotees consider such goals to be worthless phantasmagoria. So, there are also yogis who try to control their senses, but they can never succeed without coming to the stage of devotional service. So, phantasmagoria, why? Because one may reach the heavenly planet, but the time in the heavenly planet is very limited, it's short. And even reaching up to the Brahmajyoti, why? Because that is also temporary. One will come down to the material platform. Unless one comes in contact with a devotee, one understands about devotional service, then one can progress to the spiritual world, to the spiritual planets. So that's why it's being said as phantasmagoria, because the soul is always active. Even if the soul merges into the Brahmajyoti, after some time the soul will want to do some activity. And the yogis, even for them to actually realize the Paramatma, they need to engage in devotional service. So their processes, karma, gyan, yoga, their processes, it's like a yoga ladder, but one has to come to devotional service to be able to get perfection. The senses are compared to poisonous snakes, but the senses of a bhakta engaged in the service of the Lord are like snakes with their poisonous fangs removed. Because the senses of the devotee, they are engaged in Krishna's service. So they are not the cause, they cannot be the cause of him to create karma or vikarma. And that's why I said that, like that the poison is removed from the fangs. The yogi tries to suppress his senses, but even great mystics like Vishwamitra fail in the attempt. Vishwamitra was conquered by his senses when he was captivated by Menka during his meditation. She later gave birth to Shakuntala. The wisest persons in the world, therefore, are the Bhakti yogis, as Lord Krishna confirms in Bhagavad Gita 6:47. So even yogis, it's difficult to artificially control the senses. And Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita that who is the highest yogi? Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhaman bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mata. Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. So Krishna is saying that the highest yogi is the pure devotee, because he's always engaged in devotional service, worships him, who has great faith in him. And Krishna is saying, he is the highest yogi. He's saying he abides in me in great faith. So has great faith in Krishna, worships Krishna, engages in transcendental loving service to Krishna. That's how he's intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. The pure devotee, he's re-established his relationship with Krishna. Any questions, comments?
So this is prayojana, right? Because he is the ultimate goal.
Yeah,
right?
engage in transcendental loving service. Yeah, he's revived his love. Yes. Yeah. Tato nek sahasra koti vimana nik sankul deva yane navatar.
Tato neka sahasra koti vimananika sankula deva yane na yane avatar.
Antindu mandalam avarya brahma sadane nipatati.
Atindu mandalam avarya brahma sadane nipattati.
After purifying the 7 planets near Dhruv, the pole star, the Ganges water, is carried through the spaceways of the demigods in billions of celestial airplanes. Then it inundates the moon, Chandralok, and finally reaches Lord Brahma's abode atop Mount Meru. We should always remember that the Ganges river comes from the causal ocean beyond the covering of the universe. So she's coming from the causal ocean where Mahavishnu is lying down. Mahavishnu is lying down in the causal ocean. So after the water of the causal ocean leaks through the hole created by Lord Vamandev, it flows down to Dhruv, the pole star, and then to the 7 planets beneath Dhruv. Then it is carried to the moon by innumerable celestial airplanes. And then it falls to the top of Mount Meru, which is known as Sumeru Parvat. So from pole star, so causal ocean is coming, goes to Dhruv, goes to the 7 planets. Then it's transported by airplane to Mount Meru, Sumeru. In this way, the water of the Ganges finally reaches the lower planets and the peaks of the Himalayas, and from there it flows through Hardwar and throughout the plains of India, purifying the entire land. How the Ganges water reaches the various planets from the top of the universe is explained herein. Celestial airplanes carry the water from the planets of the sages to other planets. So-called advanced scientists of the modern age are trying to go to the higher planets, but at the same time they're experiencing a power shortage on Earth. If they were actually capable scientists, they could personally go by airplane to other planets, but this they are unable to do. Having now given up their moon excursions, they are attempting to go to other planets, but without success. I think India recently went to the moon. For a long time, nobody went. Now India went to the moon searching for water, I think. But anyway, so here, this is how.
So when did the Ganges then river fall? It fell on Lord Shiva also, right?
Yeah.
So when was?
Yeah, that also references there.
Yeah.
We were reading in the introduction that in the introduction to this chapter, we read. So let's read on it. Maybe more details. Because we read that Lord Shiva was holding it in his hair for a long time.
Yeah.
Tatra chaturdha bhedyamana chaturbhir nama chaturdasham.
Tatra chaturna vidyamana chaturbir namabhish chaturdisham.
Abhispandanti nadipatim evabhini vishati sita lakananda chakshur bhadreti.
Abhispandanti nadi patim evavinishati Sitalakananda Chakshurpadreti.
On top of Mount Meru, the Ganges divides into 4 branches, each of which gushes in a different direction, east, west, north, and south. These branches, known by the names Sita, Alaknanda, Chakshu, and Bhadra, flow down to the ocean. So from Mount Meru, then it's dividing into 4. Sita tu Brahma Sadanat Kesara Chalade Giri Shikharebhyo Dhodaha.
Sita tu Brahma Sadanat Kesarach Chaladi Giri Shikarabhyo Dodha.
Prasravanti Gandhamadan Murdhaso Patitvan Tarena Bhadrashva.
Prashravanti Gandhamadana Murtashu Dasu Pati Pavan Vantarena Padrashva.
Varsham Prachyam Dishishara Samudram Abhipravishyati.
Varsham Prachyam Dishishara Samudram Abhipravishyati.
The branch of the Ganges known as the Sita flows through Brahmapuri atop Mount Meru, and from there it runs down to the nearby peaks of the Kesarachal Mountains, which stand almost as high as Mount Meru itself. These mountains are like a bunch of filaments around Mount Meru. From the Kesarachal Mountains, the Ganges falls to the peak of Gandhamadan Mountain and then flows into the land of Bhadrashvash. Finally, it reaches the ocean of salt water in the west. So it's flowing through the different mountains. From Brahmapuri, which was, we read, was in the middle of Mount Meru, then it's going to the other peaks of the mountains, and then it's reaching the ocean. Evam Malyavat Shikaran Nishpatante Tato Nupartavega.
Evam Malyavach Chikaran Nispatanti Tato Nuparatavega.
Ketumalam Abhichakshu Pratichyam Dishi Sarit Patim Pravishyati.
Ketumalam Abhichakshu Pratichyam Dishi Sarit Patim Pravishyati.
The branch of the Ganges known as Chakshu falls onto the summit of Malyavan mountain and from there cascades onto the land of Ketumalvarsh. The Ganges flow incessantly through Ketumalvarsh and in this way also reaches the ocean of salt water in the west. Bhadrachotarato Meru Shiraso Nipatita Giri Shikharad Giri Shikharam.
Bhadra Chotarato Meru Shiraso Nipatita Giri Shikarad Giri Shikaram.
Atithaya Shinvagata Shringar Avasyan Damana Uttaramstu Kurun.
Atitaya Shringavata Shringad Avashan Damana Uttaramstu Kurun.
Abhid Udityam Dishi Jaladim Abhipravishyati.
Abhita Udicham Dishi Jaladim Abhipravishyati.
The branch of the Ganges known as Bhadra flows from the northern side of Mount Meru. Its waters fall onto the peaks of Kumud Mountain, Mount Neel, Shwet Mountain, and Shringavan Mountain in succession. Then it runs down into the province of Kuru, and after crossing through that land, flows into the saltwater ocean in the north. Tathaiva Lakananda Dakshinena Brahma Sadanat Bahuni Girikutani.
Tateva Lakananda Dakshinena Brahma Sadanat Bahuni Girikutani.
Atikramya Hema Kutat Dhaima Kutani. Ati Rabhastar Ramhasa.
Atikramya Hemakutat Daimakutani Atirabhasatararam Hasa.
Lutyanti Bharatam Abhivarsham Dakshinasyam Dishi Jaldim.
Lutayanti Bharatam Abhivarsham Dakshinasya Dishi Jalatim.
Abhipravishati Yasyam Snanartham Jagachata Pumsapade.
Abhipravishati Yasyam Snanartham Chagachatta Pumshapade.
Adesvamed Rajasu Yadinam Phalam na Durbalam iti.
Padeshwameda Raja Su Yadinam Phalam na Durlabam iti.
Similarly, the branch of the Ganges, known as Alaknanda, flows from the southern side of Brahmapuri, Brahmasadan, passing over the tops of mountains in various lands. It falls down with fierce force upon the peaks of the mountains Hemakut and Himakut. After inundating the tops of those mountains, the Ganges falls down onto the tract of land known as Bharatvarsh, which he also inundates. Then the Ganges flows into the ocean of salt water in the south. Persons who come to bathe in this river are fortunate. It's not very difficult for them to achieve with every step the results of performing great sacrifices like the Rajasuya and Ashwamedh Yagyas. The place where the Ganges flows into the salt water of the Bay of Bengal is still known as Ganga Sagar, or the meeting place of the Ganges and the Bay of Bengal. So it's on this side that this is the Earth planet, right? And India. So the other oceans of salt, I don't know where they were, but this part, then this they're speaking about India, about Earth. On Makar Sankranti in the month of January, February, thousands of people still go there to bathe, hoping to be liberated. So Ganga Sagar is where the Ganges is flowing into the ocean at the Bay of Bengal. That they can actually be liberated in this way is confirmed herein. So it seems on Makar Sankranti, people go there hoping to be liberated. For those who bathe in the Ganges at any time, the results of great sacrifices like the Ashwamedh and Rajasuya Yagya are not at all difficult to achieve. So it seems bathing in the Ganges is as good as doing Ashwamedh Yagya or Rajasuya Yagya. The results, they are not difficult to achieve, it said. Most people in India are still inclined to bathe in the Ganges, and there are many places where they can do so. At Prayag, Allahabad, many thousands of people gather during the month of January to bathe in the confluence of the Ganges and Yamuna. Afterward, many of them go to the confluence of the Bay of Bengal and the Ganges to take bath there. Thus, it is a special facility for all the people of India that they can bathe in the water of the Ganges at so many places of pilgrimage. The Ganges, it flows in so many places. Even Mayapur has Ganges. And devotees go there regularly. So, did you want to add anything? Any comment? So we
Hare
read a
Krishna.
lot of names, mountains, and Hare Krishna.
Yeah, like these all are written in Bhagavatam, right?
Yes.
So it means our like Sanatan Dharma, we say like Sanatan Dharma. It's the only one like long time ago. The whole planet, whole earth is Bharatvarsha, and this Ganges and these rivers, they all are like maybe the other rivers also somehow connected because right now we read like Ganga is in all planet, right? So the other rivers are somehow connected with this Ganges and other river in India.
Not all of them. No.
No, but
No.
it is written like all planet have Ganges river.
Yes. All planets have Ganges, but on our planet, we also have Ganges, and that's the Ganges. So the other planet also have, but on this earth, we have many, many rivers. It doesn't mean all the rivers are Ganges.
Okay. Like I mean,
Yeah.
like there is some connection because water is going to meet like in ocean, and ocean is already connected, interrelated to each other. So if we think like that, maybe there is some partial connection.
But we are, see, because we are hearing that the Ganges water is pure, then we are not hearing that, oh, all the water is the same. You know?
Yeah.
All right. We are here. That's how we just read that there are these 5 rivers, holy rivers: Ganga, Yamuna, Krishna, Narmada,
Narmada and Kaveri.
which was Kaveri.
Kaveri,
These are the
yes.
holy rivers. Then there are so many other rivers, but they are not holy. There's no spiritual benefit when you're. Of course, it's very good. It's in the mode of goodness to bathe in the river, but these rivers, we are getting spiritual benefit.
And that's why people bring also, na? Like the Ganges, right?
Yes.
Water.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
Because it's very, very, yes.
Yeah. That's why it's also so important. Like people don't say, oh, you can bring any water from anywhere there.
Right.
Yeah, this is purity, because if you'll keep more than 10 years, there is no any like greenery
It
or
doesn't
some
get spoiled. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't get spoiled, you know.
Yeah, that doesn't
So,
spoil. No smell, nothing.
yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Transparent. Okay. But it is all
Yeah.
true, right? Like so old, this all was written, and like these all are real.
Yeah, this is what
There
we
is
are hearing from our
Yeah.
scriptures. This is our scriptures.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all the scriptures.
Imagine the earth was known as Bharatvarsha, the whole
Yeah,
earth.
Also,
Bharatvarsha.
yeah,
Yeah.
Bharatvarsh. Yeah.
And then it got divided and
Yeah.
India.
Yeah, but
Otherwise, the
also
whole thing
here,
was
maybe this
Bharatvarsha.
Bharatvarsh also maybe
Huh.
could mean to India also, right here, because here that's where Ganga is flowing in India.
No, but yesterday I was reading like in one book, Iran was also like Iran, Iraq, these all are
Yes.
part of our India. And
Yes,
slowly,
yes. The whole planet, of course, at
whole
one point
planet.
was
Yeah,
called
this earth
Bharatvarsh.
is,
Yes.
yeah, this earth is India, Bharatvarsha.
Yes. Yes.
And
And right now here, what we are reading is like, because Ganga is flowing in India, so what we are hearing is that
yes,
part of this planet.
yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
So our
So-
culture, our Ved, our whatever we have, like old spiritual books and Upanishad, Ved, these all are really very powerful and true. So we
Yeah,
need to
because-
realize, and we have to distribute this all knowledge to our kids, our children, our neighbors. Like what was India and what is India? It's all,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we can see this. We are hearing from a great personality like Sukadev Goswami. He's a liberated person. So he is speaking all this. So it has so much authority, Who we are hearing from? We are hearing from Sukadev Goswami himself.
Yes.
He's like a great spiritual personality, a great liberated person, a great devotee of the Lord. So Vedyas, he is an incarnation of the Lord himself. So we have to see also who is the person who's speaking all these things.
Yes.
Such great authorities are speaking this knowledge,
So Prabhupada ji really did a very great initiate for spreading these all essence to like almost this was vanished, but it is again everywhere spreading. So it is really very good internationally also. So it is really very
Yes.
good.
So true, in a language that we can understand. Yes. So true.
So it is really very good. At least people can
Yes.
understand other people also.
Yes. Yes, so true.
Yeah,
So true.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you so much.